The interpretation of dreams is the royal road to a knowledge of the unconscious activities of the mind. The conscious mind may be compared to a fountain playing in the sun and falling back into the great subterranean pool of subconscious from which it rises. Unexpressed emotions will never die, they are buried alive, and will come forth later in uglier ways. One day, in retrospect to years of struggle, will strike you as the most beautiful. Most people do not really want freedom, because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. Everywhere I go, I find a poet has been there before me. Words have a magical power. They can bring either the greatest happiness or deepest despair. They can transfer knowledge from teacher to student. Words enable the orator to sway his audience and dictate its decisions. A man should not strive to eliminate his complexes, but to get into accord with them. The ego is not master in its own house. A civilization which leaves so large a number of its participants unsatisfied and drives them into revolt neither has nor deserves the prospect of a lasting existence. The voice of the intellect is a soft one, but it does not rest until it has gained a hearing. The first human being who hurled an insult instead of a stone was the founder of civilization. Time spent with cats is never wasted. The great question that has never been answered, and which I have not yet been able to answer, despite my 30 years of research into the feminine soul, is what does a woman want? Civilization began the first time an angry person cast a word instead of a rock. Love and work. Work and love, that's all there is. The more the fruits of knowledge become accessible to men, the more widespread is the decline of religious belief. When inspiration does not come to me, I go halfway to meet it. The mind is like an iceberg. It floats with 1/7 of its bulk above water. The goal of all life is death. Men are strong so long as they represent a strong idea. They become powerless when they oppose it. I cannot think of any need in childhood as strong as the need for a father's protection. The act of birth is the first experience of anxiety, and thus the source and prototype of the effect of anxiety. Man is a creature torn apart by the conflict between his ambitions and his appetites. Neurotics complain of their illness, but they make the most of it, and when it comes to taking it away from them, they will defend it like a lioness her young. The more one analyses people, the more all reasons for analysis disappear. Sooner or later one comes to that dreadful, universal thing called human nature. The behavior of a human being in sexual matters is often a prototype for the whole of his other modes of reaction in life. From error to error one discovers the entire truth. It is impossible to escape the impression that people commonly use false standards of measurement, that they seek power, success, and wealth for themselves and admire them in others, and that they underestimate what is of true value in life. In the small matters trust the mind, in the large ones the heart. The first requisite of civilization is that of justice. Every normal person, in fact, is only normal on the average. His ego approximates to that of the psychotic in some part or other, and to a greater or lesser extent. Religion is an attempt to get control over the sensory world in which we are placed by means of the wish world which we have developed inside us as a result of biological and psychological necessities. A fear of weapons is a sign of retarded sexual and emotional maturity. When you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. In the depths of my heart, I can't help being convinced that my dear fellow men, with a few exceptions, are worthless. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. If a man has been his mother's undisputed darling, he retains throughout life the triumphant feeling, the confidence in success, which not seldom brings actual success along with it. The voice of the intellect is a soft one, but it does not rest until it has gained a hearing.